Hello, my dear brothers and sisters. This is part 5 in a series of videos on Vesta. And what we do in this video is apply what we've learned to see if it works with a particular group of people. And my thought was this: Vesta is an antiseptic or a prophylactic. It goes out and gets rid of the germs, psychological dysfunctions, physical dysfunctions. It gets rid of them. What it perceives as dysfunction, sometimes what it sees as dysfunction is actually not even dysfunctional. That's the problem with the two German leaders. Maybe I'm oversimplifying, but you get the point. I mean, you can have your viewpoint. You don't have to agree with me, but you get the idea. And some people struggle over it, like Vita Sackville West. Anyway, it goes out and destroys the dysfunction, or it creates a wall and a barrier to it. Well, if that's true, people who are afraid of getting contaminated with germs, a germophobia, I would expect Vesta to be strong. And here's what I found out. I found out, and this was a little bit surprising, at least in the charts I looked at. I did a Google search. I did things like celebrities with germophobia, and you find websites. And then I pull up their names and I look at the charts of people who have AA data. This is not an extremely formal, convincing research, but it's going to show us, it's helpful. What can we apply the ideas to other situations? Will it generalize to another situation reasonably well? And I found out something interesting. At least this group of people have Vesta very often in 99 vibration. I was mainly thinking of 8, 64, 256, probably also 64. Why high vibrations? Because if you have germophobia, it's not obvious. It's not an externalized trait. It's something like core inside you. Like if I meet someone, I'm not going to say, oh, you must be a germaphobe. You must be wash your hands all the time and whatever. I can't tell. It's not, most of us can't tell. It's not something expressive in the outer world. It's something deep about the way the person functions. Those are high vibrations. So I was thinking just a basic driving force, like 64 vibration, 256 vibration. 11 vibration, however, has been involved in almost every illness, especially psychological illness that we've studied, with bipolar disorder, etc. 11 is just inclined to instability. Now, I don't think of germophobia as like instability, so I wasn't thinking 11, but 99 gets involved. Wow, that's very interesting. So when we do this research, we learn new things, we get new ideas, and it makes sense. I'm able to make sense of it anyway by thinking, what does 99 do? 99 is free flowing. It just flows. And how do germs spread? They spread through the air and water, this flow of life, this open circulation. 99 vibrations is open, free flowing, just picking up, going with things, very not so structured, just able to like improvise or follow new instincts in a natural flowing way. It's like a creek that just flows over the rocks and has its own little bubbling sound, little happy sound as it finds its way with whatever it comes across. So it's interesting that the germophobia is 99 vibration. Vesta, seeking that purity and the concern about dysfunction in the free-flowing organic movement. So this is what I think is going on. We get some new ideas. And yes, the 256 vibe also shows up. So let's look at the charts of the people I found when I Googled it. I'm not going to bring up their charts. If you want, I can make another video and show you the charts if you want to go into more detail. But I'll just summarize it quickly. It's also called Mysophobia, is like a medical term for it. And I went to this one website and listed celebrities with Mysophobia. Howie Mandel is probably the most famous of them. We have only A data for him. I kept him in there because he's so well known for this problem. The others, I think most of the others have AA data. What did I find in his chart? Venus conjunct to Saturn, Pluto, midpoint, 47 minutes in the natal chart. Vesta is also semi-square Saturn. That Vesta Saturn, and Vesta is at the Saturn-Pluto midpoint. This is undoubtedly a big part of it. So we don't know if his time is right. These might actually be stronger. So he's A data. I don't want to dwell on him too much. Let's go to the AA data people. Donald Trump. Donald Trump is known to be very concerned about germs, wash his hands a lot, and be careful. He has to shake hands with a zillion people as a president and presidential candidate and stuff. And he has some concern about that. Do we want to call him a mysophobe over this? I don't know. But he's more concerned about germs than other people. Whether you want to put a label on it and classify it as an illness, maybe he's going a little bit far. But I decided to include anybody who's more like this than others. So in his 7 vibration, Vesta square Saturn, and in 13 vibe seems to show up with a couple of them. Venus is square. Venus, Moon, and Vesta are in a T square. And then there's the 99 vibration, where Vesta is sesquiquadrat, the Moon and Venus. And Vesta's at the Sun, Neptune midpoint, 6 minutes. So this Vesta 3-planet combination, Vesta with Moon and Venus, Vesta with Venus or the Moon in 99 vibe shows up frequently with germophobia. Cameron Diaz in 99 has Venus conjunct the Moon, Venus midpoint, and they're an aspect to each other. Almost identical to Donald Trump. Donald Trump has a Vesta Moon Venus forming aspects, and Cameron Diaz also has Vesta Moon Venus in aspect in 99 vibration, and also a midpoint structure for Cameron Diaz. So what we're seeing here is Vesta, Moon, Venus, midpoint structures, and both of them have aspects of those planets. Very interesting. It makes sense in retrospect. I wouldn't have predicted it. Megan Fox, we also have AA data for her. She has Vesta trine both her Sun and Moon. Wow. So Vesta, Sun, Moon. Here again, Vesta, Moon, but instead of Venus, it's the Sun and Moon. So Vesta with Moon and Venus, or Vesta with Sun and Moon in 99 vibration. Elvis Presley, now I don't know if he was that much of a germaphobe, but they talk about it. He does have a Vesta Venus in 99 vibe. He has a T-square of Saturn, Venus, and Pluto in 256. That can be enough to give you some sensitivity to germs, maybe not extreme. But 64 and 256 vibe, strong Vesta gives this purity approach. This, I don't want these germs coming at me. So this is a 4-planet T-square Elvis has. Saturn, a Venus-Pluto conjunction, Vesta. There again, Vesta with Venus and with Saturn. Gwyneth Paltrow, the actress, in her 256 vibe, she has Vesta at the Saturn, Uranus, Pluto, and the Sun, Pluto midpoint. Both very, very tight. I mean, 1 minute, especially the Vesta at Saturn, Uranus. So here is a midpoint isotrap. Vesta making midpoint structures of different planets, 5 different planets altogether. Vesta, Saturn, Uranus, Sun, Pluto. We call that a midpoint isotrap. Very powerful. The Vesta Saturn, Uranus is 1 minute orb. So, and there are aspects reinforcing it. Jennifer Lawrence, 99. It's typically 256 or 99. Again, Vesta with Moon. Vesta is in an augmented midpoint isotrap. Oh my God, with a 21-minute orb. This is crazy. This is crazy strong. Like, you almost never see this. A planet making 3 midpoint structures with all different planets, and the largest orb is 21 minutes. This is insanely strong. And it's Vesta at the focus, at Moon, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Neptune, Pluto in 99 vibe. 99 vibe with Vesta involved with the Moon. In this case, it's 6 planets involved, so it's huge. Makes the person, I think what's happening is just analyzing it, what this energy does, is whenever there's a free-flowing situation, 99 vibe, things are just circulating around, they're concerned about defects. They don't trust this free-flowing thing. They don't trust the germs flowing around in the air, swirling around in the water. It makes them want to make sure that in any free-flowing, swirling kind of situation, that toxins haven't gotten in there. I mean, it's obviously a situation where a toxin can get involved because there's no clear structure, no clear boundaries. There's no clear purpose. 99 is just going with the flow and feeling so comfortable with it. Just, it's all fine. Vesta's there saying, this is a dangerous situation. It's so literal, it's scary. I mean, it's so literal, it's like, oh my God. I mean, this is like Vesta in 99 when you think about it. It's amazing. So this is how we develop the ideas. This is where we're first coming up with an idea. We're going to have to use it, apply it, test it to get more confidence in it. But it is already data driven. We've taken these charts and seeing what's going on. Now, okay, I'm going to put this in this video because we're only at 13 minutes. I think this is the last thing I want to share with you, and this is way cool. I decided to do 2 things. I decided to look at people who are germophobes. What's the word? Mysophobia? Something like that. And it works, and I got this idea about 99 vibration being particularly important. Then I just thought of Lister, Joseph Lister. He's the guy that Listerine is named after. And I knew a little about Lister, that he was really an amazing scientist working on germs. And now Listerine, a popular product, a mouthwash to get rid of, to kill germs, kill bad bacteria. So antiseptic, he's famous, and his work was real. The product was named after him because he was a real great scientist in this. Well, I pulled up his chart. We don't have AA data. I wasn't even going to look at it. But I said, let me just look at the outer planets. And then I read about him, and I found out, I was curious to see whether Vesta was strong, and I found out that his wife, Agnes, was actually a partner in his work, like an equal partner. It should be Joseph and Agnes Lister. Here's a quote from the Wikipedia article on his wife, Agnes. Lister, they're referring to Agnes. Agnes Lister's career was a close collaboration with her husband, and their achievements are inextricably linked. And they tell the whole story about how they worked together so closely. So I made a BiWheel. I didn't expect to see anything because I don't have no time at all. They're just done for 12 noon. So there's Lister, born in 1827, 12 noon, and his wife Agnes, born in 1834, and it just has 12 noon. Oh my God, the whole day there was something interesting going on. Lister, he's in the inner ring. Saturn at 2 Aries, Vesta at 1 Libra. You know the saying, you can't make this up? You can't make this stuff up. This is nuts. Saturn, Vesta? Oh, this is the 8th vibration chart. Because I wouldn't expect this in the natal chart. Natal chart's too exterior. I would have even more expected it in 64 vibration or 256, but we can't do a 64 vibration. We can't do two. You can't see anything um, without a birth time. Everything's moving too fast. And normally you can't see anything in very much in the 8 vibration, but it just so happens that Saturn and Vesta are going at a speed that it stayed in orb. It won't do that every day, but on the day he was born, it stayed in orb. He was born with the Saturn Vesta in the 8 vibration chart. Saturn Vesta is, I mean, theoretically, and from the observations we have so far, it is an antiseptic. That's what it is. It's going to find, you know, the essential real dysfunction or, you know, enemy and target it, get rid of it. That's it. And by the way, Joseph Lister and Agnes Lister are the coolest people ever. I mean, they dedicated their lives to looking under microscopes. On their honeymoon, they went to clinics to talk to see what the researchers were doing and what they had found out. They took a trip, I think, from England to France to where. I mean, it's so sweet because they just they worked together and dedicated their lives to something they were curious and excited about, and it had real benefits. And now look at this. So he's got Saturn Vesta. We don't know much about his chart because we have no birth time. Her Vesta, this is Agnes in the outer ring. Her Vesta makes a T-square to his Saturn Vesta. And I got extremely lucky that this is in orb pretty much for most of the day. I think it's towards the end of the day it kind of gets out of orb, but most of the day is there, which means she probably wasn't born at the end of the day. That's how we rectify charts based on what we can see. It must be there. And then her Uranus, which is, you know, Uranus moves slowly, and the 8 vibration chart is slow enough. She's got a Saturn Uranus square from Gemini to Virgo, also at 2 and 3 degrees. So Joseph's Vesta is trine Agnes's Uranus. His Saturn is sextile her Uranus. You've got an enormous Saturn Vesta Uranus thing going on. And Uranus Vesta, from looking at various charts, gives this kind of electrical Vesta. I'm going to talk about that next. And I think I'll put that in a separate video. I don't like to put too many different topics in one video so you can jump right to it. But we've got Joseph and Agnes Lister in this video. Is that amazing or what? So what we do is we do the database research, then we apply it to different situations. So I've shown 2 different situations where it works. And it works so beautifully. So if you think of Vesta as holding this sacred space, you could kind of relate that to Joseph and Agnes Lister. But saying this is what Vesta does with Saturn, I mean, it's just exact. In fact, I thought of Joseph Lister for this reason. I would not think of Joseph Lister if I was thinking about somebody holding a sacred space. So this exact interpretation is working in application. In an evidence-based system, we want the idea to work with the data, and it's got to work with clients as well, and improve our work with the clients. And so we're targeting something we wouldn't have been able to see before. Right. Okay, you know what? I'll include this here because I think we're only at 20 minutes, and this is another application. So this video will be on applications, and yeah, it's only one slide. So this video is about the applications of what we discovered. My chart, I could bring up the chart wheel and show it to you, but I can show you these chart wheels if you want. We can make another video, but I'll just tell you what's in there. Well, it's kind of dramatic to see it. I'll show it to you real quickly. I got to resize all this. I don't even know if I'm in here. All right, I'll do it real quickly. Let me just do this real quickly. Let me just pull this over here. Let me spread this out. Let me call up my chart because I just want it'll help to see this. Okay, that's good enough. We don't need anything fancy. let me just pull up my chart. That went off the screen, don't worry about it. Okay, here's my chart, and let me put, let me go into, if you right click, I can put all 4 major asteroids, or I could put just Vesta. Quickly, I'll just put all 4 major asteroids. And there's my Vesta. This is my chart, my birth chart. At 26 Sagittarius 46, opposite Uranus with a 1 degree orb, just slightly over 1 degree orb. Well, that's not very dramatic or exciting because it's over a degree. There's going to be a lot of things going on. But what's interesting is if you go to the midpoints, you can add asteroids to it. And so if you right click and you go to advanced settings and you go to asteroids, you can, let me drag this over to the area that you can see, and I already checked Vesta here. And so over here, you check it, you can add any asteroid to your midpoint structures. And you'll see that Vesta over here is conjunct or opposition Sun Pluto midpoint, a little more than half a degree, and Uranus is at Sun Pluto midpoint, 29 minutes. That means that Uranus conjunct Sun Pluto in my natal chart is reinforced with Vesta. So there's a Vesta Uranus. I want to tell you a little about Vesta Uranus. We talked about Saturn Vesta, which is very interesting, kind of targets where the dysfunction is. That's Saturn, but what Uranus Vesta does is it adds electricity, of course, spontaneity. Well, what does it mean to add spontaneity? It becomes like things like crystals. So somebody that loves crystals or like little bright, sparkly things, Vesta's that purity, that unadulterated purity. That's what a crystal is, right? It's like, whoa, it's so pure and full of light, sparkle. So we would think that people with Uranus Vesta very often might like sparkly, clear, bright, pure things. And then it gets reinforced. This would give a little bit of that sparkle and glitter. But then when you go to 8 vibration, it gets reinforced. I won't show it to you. Let me just tell you about it because you don't need to see all that. I want to just get an idea. When you go to the 8 vibration chart, what you'll find out is that the same planets are within orbit and they're making midpoint structures. There's a stellium and you end up with 2 midpoint structures. Vesta's at Sun Uranus and Uranus is at Pluto Vesta. Sun, Uranus, Vesta, Pluto. My point is this. I have a very strong Sun, Uranus, Sun, Pluto. Very strong. Makes the midpoint structure and it's involved in a supersymmetry pattern in the 8 vibration and reinforced by being in a stellium. I have very strong Sun, Uranus, Sun, Pluto. You can pull up my 8 vibration chart if you have the Series 4 software, or if you look at that other slide, you see my birth information. And if you pull up the 8 vibration chart and you look at the midpoint structures, you'll see these 2 midpoint structures. And then when you go to 64 vibration, there's some additional things reinforcing it. There's a pyramid going on with the, okay, Venus, I don't remember this. Venus is at Sun, Uranus, and 8 vibe is tight enough to still be involved in 64 vibe. Anyway, it adds a little bit more Vesta Uranus. Now, let me go to the top of this. I play guitar a little bit, and I sometimes make these little chants, little songs. And I used to be part of New Age services, and I would sometimes lead chants. And I made this little chant. It goes, clear as crystal, white as snow I am. Clear as crystal, white as snow I am. Purify me, purify me. So, not the greatest little chant in the world, but anyway, look at the words. Clear as crystal, white as snow, purify me. And you know, when I make these words, I think to myself, some New Age people probably don't like this purify me stuff. Sound like a Christian, like whatever, you know. I like it. I don't, you know, I like it. I just do it because I like it, you know. It's, and uh, whoa, Sun, Uranus, Pluto, Vesta, extremely strong. So these little things about our tastes and our interests, and you know, I remember when the LED lights came out, and you know they have this like clear, crystally quality to. I just love them. It's like, oh my god, it's totally awesome because it's like glittery. It's kind of not very deep. You know, like children like these things. There's just glitter. I love white snow. It's like I'm crazy about it. Living in Florida, I haven't gotten to see much of that. I'm moving to North Carolina to get some snow. Um, so, which is I'm really looking forward to even just once a year. So these are all these little details are in the chart, and so learning about Vesta, it's fun to do your own chart, right? You know, look at your own chart. And so I'm giving you some ideas of things you might want to look at. Look at your midpoint structures, and you can add Vesta to the midpoint structures in your natal chart. See if something happens like what happened to me. Look at the 8 vibration chart, because the 8 vibration chart is just fundamental. When I saw the 8 vibration chart reinforce what was in my natal chart, I said, oh my God, I am Mr. Sun, Uranus, Pluto, Vesta. And it's so perfect. It's really perfect. And yeah, even my taste in furniture and stuff, it's like clean. You know, I don't like rugs and stuff. So anyway, it's like it's really cool. Um, I mean, I like rugs, like Indian rugs or something, but not wall-to-wall carpeting. It's just that different tastes people have. So yeah, look at your own charts, play with it. You can leave in the comments. Go ahead and comment. You know, these member-only videos, we can share ideas of what you're noticing. So very, very cool to apply the ideas. Also, one last note. In my case, it's midpoints. The difference between midpoints and aspects, let's go over this, it's really interesting, is midpoints can remain latent. Like it, more easily than aspects. If you don't express your midpoint structures, it tends not to create as serious problems and malfunctioning as your aspects. It's like the aspects are blunt. Bam. Here it is, man. Do it. The midpoint structures, they're like elegant. They're more subtle. You can ignore them, but if you tap into them, they often have a greater refinement and often great talent. Like the person who can paint and they get this, you know, details. Like it's hard to get that detail. Or somebody plays a musical instrument and they get, you know, a nice touch, a delicate touch. Or somebody who does yoga and it just or dance and they just move in such an exquisite way. You can get that out of the midpoint structures, and that's very true for. I mean, I can relate to it anyway. It's easy to make sense of these things, but at least to me, my Sun, Vesta, Uranus, Pluto thing, that makes sense because it's something that I've always had a sense of. And then as I develop it, I don't know. It's just true. It's like I really have an ability to develop that if I choose to, but I don't have to. And have a good touch with it. So anyway, it's Uranus Vesta, crystals, electrical spark, a pure bam kind of thing. So fascinating how literal the astrology is getting. Germaphobe, Vesta in 99 vibe. Things are swirling around, man. There's no nice boundary. This is just going. This germs get in there. It's like so literal. So as we advance in vibrational astrology, They're hard-won battles. I mean, I spent dozens of hours just on this project, like went on for hours, and I have no idea how many hours. But it starts, you start to see it. You start to see it work. And fortunately, we have a team of researchers. Um, you can check out the YouTube videos by Starlene, Christopher, DW, David Wells, and Michelle Love. So Starlene Brighter and Christopher Pridham and David Wells and Michelle Love, they're making videos sharing things in vibrational astrology and the vibrational astrology conference every March uh, and of course these videos, just learning about what's happening. So I learned a lot this past few weeks about Vesta, becoming much clearer, many insights. Um, so that's it, my friends. We are at the end. The conclusion is extreme case sampling works. It works. It's amazing. Then you apply the ideas, and this whole evidence-based astrology thing, opening up new worlds, new connections with academia, big business. Not connecting so much in most of the astrology world, but it's really moving forward. Excuse me. So cool things happening. Thank you for being a member. Leave comments, share ideas. Let me know what you want me to do next. And yeah, God bless. Namaste.